Expert stands by evidence that Red Bull boss Vorayuth's Ferrari was travelling at 177 km/h. Deputy Prime Minister Prawit Wongsuwan has addressed and rejected outright any speculation linking his brother, Admiral Sitthawat Wongsuwan, with the decision by a prosecutor at the end of June to drop the last remaining charge against Red Bull heir, Vorayuth Yoovidhya. Media sources point out that a request to transfer the file in the case back from the prosecutor's office for further police input was made to a committee of the former National Legislative Assembly during the rule of the military junta chaired by the Deputy PM's brother. A physics expert at Chulalongkorn University and key expert witness in the now closed case against Red Bull heir boss, Vorayuth Yoovidhya, has said he stands by his testimony that the suspect's luxury Ferrari was travelling at 177 km/h just seconds before it collided with a Thai police sergeant on a motorbike in the early hours of Monday morning, the 3rd of September 2012, on the Sukhumvit Road, when Sergeant Major Wongsuwan Clan Prasad tragically lost his life. It comes as Deputy Prime Minister Wongsuwan has also rejected any speculation that his brother was linked to the decision to drop the last remaining charge against Mr. Vorayuth announced out of the blue by police on Friday last, the 24th of July. Deputy Prime Minister Prawit Wongsuwan has rejected any suggestion that his brother, Admiral Sitthawat Wongsuwan, had any part in the bombshell decision to drop the final and most serious criminal charge against Red Bull scion, boss Vorayuth Yoovidhya, at the end of June. The decision, which leaves the 35-year-old Vorayuth free to return to Thailand, has sparked public outrage and clamour. Thai Deputy Prime Minister and ruling party leader, Prawit Wongsuwan, has rubbished any suggestion that either he or his family played any part in the recent bombshell decision to drop the last remaining criminal charge against Red Bull scion, Vorayuth Yoovidhya, the youngest son of the chairman of Red Bull, Chalerm Yoovidhya. "My family has never known the family," General Prawit revealed on Thursday. "Personally, I have never known him." The Deputy PM made it clear that his brother, Admiral Sitthawat Wongsuwan, never had any power either to consider or decide on the prosecution of a criminal charge against the suspect in this case. He indicated that he was surprised that such an association could be made. Decision to drop the charge made in June at the South Bangkok prosecutor's office after a review of updated evidence including new witnesses. The decision to drop the charge of causing the death, through reckless driving, of Police Sergeant Major Wongsuwan Clan Prasad on the 3rd of September 2012 was taken by an official at the Bangkok South Office of Criminal Litigation at the end of June. This week, it emerged that the police had come forward with 2 new witnesses who had seen the accident occur. They reported that the victim in the case, Sergeant Major Wongsuwan, had been driving erratically and had swerved from the left-hand side of the road to the far right where it collided with boss Vorayuth's luxury Ferrari car. Expert witnesses, now reported to be 2 police officers, testified that from the damage seen to the car and the policeman's motorbike, they were of the opinion that Mr. Vorayuth could not have been driving at more than 80 km/h and suggested that the figure was 76.17 km/h. Corruption body found the police guilty of light infringements linked with the case on the 26th of June. The controversial decision to drop the charge is reported to have come at around the same time that a report from the National Anti-Corruption Commission, published on the 26th of June, into the investigation. It found officers involved in the case at Thongla Police Station guilty of light disciplinary infringements including dereliction of duty. It also coincided with a warning by a deputy spokesman for the public prosecutor's office at the time, Prayut Pechin, that the clock was running down for the police to track down the suspect because of the statute of limitations. Boss Vorayuth had fled Thailand in April 2017, just days before charges were pressed against him. Number of urgent inquiries now underway in response to public outrage in the last week in the aftermath of public outrage following confirmation from police on Friday the 24th of July that the outstanding charge against the now 35-year-old man had been dropped and that he was free to return to Thailand. Several investigative panels have been set up by the Attorney General and also at the behest of the Prime Minister, to get to the bottom of why the case against the runaway was dropped. 2 additional charges, for failing to stop and offer assistance at the scene of an accident and speeding, were rendered void through Thailand's statute of limitations in 2017 and 2013 respectively. The final charge was due to expire on the 3rd of September 2027. This means that one of the charges brought against the Red Bull heir was already expired and another had just 6 months to expire when he was first charged in 2017. just days after he fled Thailand and nearly 5 years after the accident. Defunct National Legislative Assembly Committee requested that prosecutors seek new input from police news reports this week, have linked the controversy to a decision by the Committee on Justice, at the now-defunct National Legislative Assembly, which tasked the prosecutor's office to review the case and seek clarification from the police. The chairman of this committee was the brother of Deputy Prime Minister Prawit, Admiral Sitthawat Wongsuwan. The request to the committee was made by a lawyer acting on behalf of the Yoovidhya family named as Mr. Samak. Original forensic expert, a lecturer on physics at Chulalongkorn University, stands by his original evidence to prosecutors that the Ferrari was speeding this week. The original forensic expert who testified to police that the car had been traveling at 177 km per hour has reconfirmed his analysis and says he stands by his evidence to prosecutors. Sathan Vijayanwanaluk is a lecturer in physics at Chulalongkorn University's Faculty of Science. He established his thinking on the case after looking at a CCTV video taken from a commercial premises on Sukhumvit Soi 53. The footage was taken just 100 meters from where the accident took place or within seconds of impact. This showed the Ferrari car entering the frame and disappearing within 1 second. Based on this analysis, given that the width of the scene was 30 meters, Mr. Sathan concluded that the vehicle was moving at more than 108 km per hour. He subsequently set up 2 specialist teams to analyze the speed of the car through 2 different approaches in more depth. One team suggested a speed of 177 km per hour while the other suggested 174 km per hour. Yoovidhya family siblings call on boss Vorayuth to address the case to allay public concerns on Thursday. A letter, dated Wednesday, signed by 8 family members including siblings of the former suspect who is now free of all charges, called on him to address the controversy and clarify his role so as to allay public concern. The letter offered an apology to the public and acknowledged the public outrage that has been generated by the prosecutor's decision to close the case. While we cannot renounce our Yoovidhya blood ties with Mr. Vorayuth, we can say that since the case began, Mr. Vorayuth's immediate family has never consulted us over the issue, the 8 Yoovidhya family members declared. We also do not agree with Mr. Vorayuth's many decisions in the case.